Welcome back, everybody, for another random Ornlu tips and gameplay mechanics video. So the other day we fell down the rabbit hole when it came to, okay, there was a situation in a game I was casting where a player got Fletching, and it actually hurt them in a tower war instead of helped them, as in it made their towers worse when fighting other towers. And it's very complicated, and it was kind of hard to explain without being able to demonstrate it. So I wanted to make this video to show you guys this very specific instance where the interaction between extra bonus arrows and villagers and watchtowers and feudal age and all that stuff, how that can make a difference in this situation. While it's not like it will happen every game, it's going to happen in pretty much every game where you have a tower war. At least it's going to be something you need to consider. So definitely do leave a like if you find this helpful or interesting at the very least. But without further ado, let's get into this. So you can see the watchtower, 0 extra arrows by default. 1 villager equals 1 extra arrow. 2 villagers, 2 extra arrows. 3 villagers, 3 extra arrows. 4 villagers, 4 extra arrows. And 5 villagers, also 4 extra arrows, because you can't have watchtowers that fire more than 4 arrows in feudal age. It's just not how that works. So, how does this matter when it comes to attacking an enemy tower? This is, another unupgraded tower. I'm just going to delete this outpost, and then we will become mortal enemies. So you can see that the towers are just dealing 1 damage to each other. And that's just because the base attack of a tower is too low to get through another tower's, pierce armor. So the arrow is always just going to be dealing 1 damage. However, if we added another villager, instead of dealing 2 damage as you might expect, we're actually dealing 6 damage. And that's because every single bonus arrow with every single building that you can get bonus arrows with, and that means castles, town centers, creposts, donjons, all that stuff. Every single bonus arrow gets bonus damage specifically against stone defense. And that value is 5. In all cases, I'm pretty sure. So what that means is that although indeed we're firing 2 arrows at once, and both arrows are actually dealing their full 5 damage, it's not like the extra arrow does more damage, generally speaking, but it does extra bonus damage specifically to stone defense. So what that means is if we garrison everybody in here, well, we start to really nuke the enemy tower, because all of these extra arrows are way more important than you might think when it comes to just adding in a ton of extra damage, which is why garrisoning your towers is so important in a tower war. But now let's see how Fletching affects this. So before I research it, remember guys, 1 villager equals 1 extra arrow, 2 villagers 2, 3 villagers 3, 4 villagers 4, and the 5th one doesn't make a difference because you can't have more than 4 in feudal age. So what it means is that you can get your maximum arrow effect while still being able to repair your tower with 1 villager, which, as I'm sure most of you know, is very useful in a tower war. But now we're going to get Fletching, and we're going to see that it actually does make a difference. And it makes a difference at many levels. So you can see that because we raised the attack value of our tower, the villagers, it requires more villagers to get extra arrows. So you can see that 1 extra villager now, it doesn't add an extra arrow. And the fact that we have 6 damage doesn't matter at all, because it's still not enough to break through the tower's pierce armor, so we're still just dealing 1 damage to it. So we were dealing 6 damage to the enemy tower without Fletching, but now because we have Fletching, now we're only dealing 1 damage. And this goes all the way up where we need 2 villagers to get the 1 extra arrow, 3 villagers to get 2 extra arrows, 4 villagers to get 3 extra arrows, and then once we get all 5 villagers garrisoned, then we're still getting the same effect as 4 or 5 villagers garrisoned last time. However, unlike last time, we're not able to keep a villager outside and repair. Or if we're in a situation where, we're only having like 1 villager over here, and we're trying to garrison it to get a little bit of extra damage in, because even against not stone defense, your extra arrows are still dealing that full damage, so they are important in attacking enemy units. So it's just something that is going to be important to keep in mind when it comes to researching Fletching in any sort of feudal age tower war scenario. So that's kind of just what I wanted to cover in this video, is the one interaction that's kind of weird and kind of uncommon and counterintuitive, but still worth going over because it can make the difference. You know, winning those early tower wars is really critical. And although researching Fletching can be very useful when it comes to, say, being able to range villagers who are repairing, so it's not like a everything or nothing sort of scenario, it's situationally useful. And one final thing I just wanted to show you guys is that Inca villagers with the forging upgrade don't matter at all. And that's because villagers have a fixed attack value. If we were Spanish and had supremacy somehow, it would still be the same exact effect. So villagers will always have an attack value of 5 when it comes to towers. I know that makes very little sense. Maybe I'll dive into the deeper workings of how extra arrows work in another video, but for the purposes of this video, it's just going to be a bit of a cautionary tale for when you go ahead and get Fletching in Tower Wars. So definitely, I hope you guys enjoyed, I hope you found it informative or interesting or something, so definitely leave a like if you did enjoy that. So see you guys next time.